Hello guys, my name is Washington, and today we are going to be talking about geometry nodes, Blender geometry nodes, and comparing with Houdini again. The reason is I'm studying Houdini, so I'm kind of comparing both in terms of geometry nodes, not talking about simulation and nothing like that. Okay, let's go for geometry nodes. Okay, and my main question related to what we are gonna talking about today is because this task for me, I've been struggling doing that in Blender, and I don't know why uh, we do not have an easier way of doing this, and I'm gonna show you what is that. Okay, so this guy, right? Let's move it here. Okay, this guy is a single mesh, right? If I go here, all of these are different meshes, right? So what I want to do in geometry nodes is being able to rotate that the island separately, or translate them separately, or scale them separately, okay? According to the center of the mass, the center of the island, okay? So, couple things that in geometry nodes in Blender, I don't know why it's like that. I was digging a bit into the forums, and it seems that everyone know, but lots of people has the same question as me, and it's a bit annoying the way around it, but there is a way of doing that. First of all, I would like to show you this. Uh, which will be to split two instances, right? Split two instances mean that it's taking whatever you have there and it's splitting into instances. You just need to tell why, what, okay? If we bring this here and mesh island, okay, mesh island index, okay? Now we can see, you see, we can see now that we have those guys separate, okay? Those are separate, right? But if I tried, for example, to rotate instances and then I rotate them, that's what's gonna happen, because they still have the same pivot, which is this guy right here, okay? So I can change the pivot of them and try to rotate it, but still it's it's not gonna work, okay? So I think there should be an option here to reset the pivot or something like that, right? To make what you want, what you would like to do when you split it by instance. Normally you want to play around with each instance independently and not related to the center of the pivot. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's delete this. Okay, the figuring out way of doing this is playing around with accumulate field. Okay, so I will bring the set position here, and then after the set position I'm gonna play around with the position, bring in the vector rotate. Okay, and after vector rotate, I'm gonna put in the vector what I want to take in account in the vector, which is position. No, not this position, but position, this guy. Okay, so now it got back what it was. Okay, And here in the center, I'm gonna do my math, okay? So I first gonna go to vector math, add, but I don't want to add, I want to divide it, okay? So, and then I'm gonna start to play around with the accumulate field. Accumulate field, okay, which is gonna be, I'm gonna bring it total, okay? And I play around with vector, of course, and point, because I want to have point on the vector. I will copy this guy here and connect the total here, okay? And in this guy, I'm gonna be, instead of vector, integer, okay? So it's gonna be the integer. Why? Because I'm gonna be playing around with the mesh island, okay? So I'm gonna copy the same position here, still taking in account the position. And now I'm gonna do a simple math, okay, which will be adding, okay? I will do this guy here, this guy here in the group ID. So the same group ID, I will be adding and will be multiplying, okay? Multiplying this guy here by mesh island. By mesh island, okay? But the mesh island index, I'm gonna leave it here, and the count of the index, I'm gonna bring it here, okay? So if I rotate here, nothing's gonna happen as I expect. Why? Because I need to have a selection, what I would like to rotate. And that's the thing. I'm gonna bring any value here, put it 1, okay? Put this into the multiply and put this into the selection, okay? Now if I rotate here, let me see. I will put this as an Euler, okay, Euler, okay? Now, if I rotate here, I would have them rotating individually, okay? That's the setup you have to separate your mesh. I don't I don't think it's a quite of easy to understand this. I myself, by myself, I didn't understand completely. I just decorated and I create a group of nodes out of this to help me every time I need to do this. Just having that. For example, you can take all of these and make a group. Press Ctrl G, right? And now you have this group here, and you can call rotate Iceland or something like that, right? You go inside, and then you can bring this to the output or to the input, and now you have this, okay? And you can even bring this to your output, so you would have this here on your modifier. So you save this, and every time you need to use it, you will have this as a group, okay? But this setup here, to me, is strange and it's weird. I'm gonna show you how it works in Houdini, the same thing, okay? And I think that it's easier to understand Houdini, and in these regards, I'm gonna show you. So then I bring it here, that's Houdini. I bring it here, the same file. It's just an Alembic and converting into mesh. So it's all of them are the same mesh, right? What I need to do here in Houdini is bring a node called for each, right? For loops. Houdini is full of for loops. Those are very, very handy, useful nodes. And I think Blender should have that in a way. And what for loop does is taking whatever you have in terms of primitives, points, and objects, and kind of calculating them isolated. Okay, whatever I'm gonna show you what is that. In this case, we are gonna use a connected piece. Okay, so for each connected piece, you have for loops for different things. In this case, I want to connected piece, which is whatever is connected, so the island. That does that make sense? That for me totally makes sense. Okay, so you have a geometry here, and whatever you do here, it will be applied to the connected pieces. Okay, so the monkey, the cube, and the tower. Okay, so if we bring the transform node here, okay, what will happen? It will happen the same thing that happened in there in Blender. Okay, they will all rotate towards the same axis. Okay, because the pivot is in the middle. Okay, it just separate. It just separate. Oh shit! But I have to bring the tab back. Okay, let's add a new tab. And times and parameters. Here we go. And whatever. Split panel top bottom, and here we are coming to geo network view. Okay, here we go. Right, so we select this guy, so we have the parameters here, what we are gonna play around, and inside the transform, okay, uh, we if we try to rotate here, as I show you, it will be rotating on the same pivot as Blender, the same thing that Blender did, okay, because the piece is in the center. But we just need to tell this transformation what is the pivot, okay? What is the pivot? And Houdini has a very simple expression, which is dollar $CEX center on XY on X axis, okay, and here you place center on Y axis, okay, and here center of Z axis. That's all. Okay, so you are just telling the pivot needs to be in the center, and that's the power of Houdini. You have those expressions that allows you to go further and tell the node what the node needs to do. Okay, so now if we rotate them, you see what's happening? They are rotating towards their own center. Okay, the same thing here. If we try to scale them, they will be scale them according to their own their own their own pivot. You know what I mean? So that's one way in which you can do this, and I think that's easier to understand, right? So you just need to have the for each loop for each piece, connected piece, and whatever you put here, you just need to have to tell Houdini by dollar $CE, which is the center, dollar center in X and Y and in Z. So the pivot is specifically on each island. Okay. So I think that's easier than this. Let me know, guys, what you think about it. I think it's easier to understand than this thing here, which is I don't know why I added it here and I multiplied it here. I just decorated, okay? But honestly, I like more the Houdini solution, even because now, for example, if I try to scale them, they will be scaled them differently, okay? If we try to scale them here, okay, it will be according to their own pivot, right? If we go here in Blender, we have that. That's what I'm talking about. We have that in Blender, which is element, scale element, okay? So if you scale here, you are scaling towards their own island. So why we do not have rotate element and translate element to avoid all of this and having consistency with what we already have, like scale elements. That would be great. Let me know, guys, what you think about it, and I'll see you in the next tutorial or in the next video. And if you guys are interested in some geometry nodes, tools that are gonna help you a lot when you're modeling, and I'm doing other things as I'm doing other tools that are just coming. Uh, Tree generator, grass generator, easy plant scatter, house scatter, all those kind of things. You just go the links below, and thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't like it. And if you guys have an idea how to solve that in a better way in Blender, just please let me know, because I researched a lot about this and I couldn't find any better solution. Okay, see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.